If you don't already know me, I am Trish. Let me look at the camera while I film here. I've been hygienist for 15 years and I have recently quit. Yes, it's funny because I am the girl online on Instagram that tells you how to make more money being a dental hygienist. And I still stand by that 100%. Okay. Because I do feel like we need to stand up for ourselves and ask for that raise if we want that raise. I know it's not all about money, but money is just an exchange of energy. And we need to look at it in a different way, right? I do believe that if you get paid for what you're doing, you're going to do better and better and better. So I don't see why hygienists can't get paid what they want. I could go on forever about that, but why did I leave hygiene? I left hygiene because things changed. I have my third kid now. She's 8 months. I have a 6-year-old, Amelia. Luke is 3, and Olivia is 8 months. And it's funny because I thought I was never going to have kids, and look at this. I have 3 kids now. So I remember when I first started doing hygiene or like wanted to sign up for hygiene, I was like, I wanted to do nursing first because I've always wanted to do healthcare. I've always loved helping people. And I knew that healthcare was going to be something that I was going to be part of because I just always loved science. Always loved science. Everything about the body, everything. I remember thinking I wanted to be a doctor, but I remember I used to tell myself I wasn't smart enough to be a doctor, but silly Trish, I could have done it if I really wanted to. But at the same time, I'm so happy with the path that I chose. And hygiene has taught me so, so much. 15 years of hygiene, right? When I first got out into the field, I barely could find a job. So I remember my first job, and I was telling someone the other day on Instagram that I was making 30, I think it was actually $34 an hour. And that was like kind of like the going rate back then. No, not really. I think $40 was like the high end for hygienists at that time. Also, I live in Boston, so keep that in mind because Boston is a little bit higher probably than some areas, maybe in like the central area of the United States. Anyways, every pay is different in each state. So silly, right? So, before I start to ramble, so yeah, I basically was like, I have to do something different. So my husband ended up getting a new job and he was like, I'm going to require you to be home more often. And I had started doing myofunctional therapy while I was on maternity leave with my younger daughter, thinking like this is just going to be something extra. I'm always like doing something extra on the side. I can never stop. I'm like a little energizer bunny, I think, or I try to be anyways. So I started doing myofunctional therapy. I took I forgot her last name, Brittany's course. Anyways, if you need information about Myo, you should take our course. It's the best one. So love you, Brittany. Sierra? Brittany Sierra? Or is that your name before or after marriage? I don't know. Now I'm rambling. Okay. So basically, I did the Myo course while I was on maternity leave, and then Massachusetts allows you to take more time for maternity leave now. So I ended up taking 6 months off, which was pretty sweet, and got paid for that. It wasn't a lot. I think I ended up getting like $800 a week or something like that, and which was good enough, right? And I had to start kind of living on that lower pay because like with hygiene, I was making like 2000 after taxes, I think, each week, working 4 days, something like that. At the last place I was working at, it was on a tiered pay-based program, which at first I jumped in and I was like, I want 33%. That's my thing. And then they were like, no, this is how we work. And I was like, okay, I'll work with you. I was still making really good money. So I was like, okay with it. And I build myself up to like their highest tier. I actually went past their tier because I was doing so well with my production. But then they ended up telling me like, oh, we need to look further into this to see if after insurance covers blah 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 blah. I'm like, whatever, fine. Because I had was going off maternity leave anyways. I was just like, okay, whatever. And I think in like the back of my mind, I was always thinking like I wanna do less hygiene. I love hygiene. Always have. But I wanted to do like a little bit less, like maybe 2 days hygiene, 2 days Myo or something like that. Because I did see a opportunity in doing Myo. And it's funny with Myo at first I was like, I didn't love it. I was like, this is not my thing. Like I like teeth. I just like the whole like cleaning process, talking about perio and pockets, and now we're talking about Myo is so different, and it's a different clientele too because I'm working with kids, and kids are loud and noisy, and I love kids. And so like I was like, it's a completely different environment, different thing. But like the more I did it, the more Myo felt like it was even more rewarding than hygiene. Like, and I always thought hygiene was really rewarding when I got to the point in my career that I was like really, really good at explaining perio and talking to patients and just, when you get to that point in your career that you just like do it probably with your eyes closed and you just like feel so good about explaining everything. You can answer any question, you can answer the doctor's question, like you feel like a little doctor in your operatory. I mean, I reached that level, and that level of comfort and confidence takes a long time, and I did reach it, which it's funny because finally, when I reached it, I left. But it's for a good thing. So now my journey is, yes, I'm home. I'm still working from home. So now I'm working from home, which is so weird to say as a hygienist. I'm working from home, doing myotherapy for Tooth Pillow, which Tooth Pillow, amazing company. If you don't know about them, go check them out. They're virtually online. They're trying to get like in all states, trying to like recruit doctors to do this, but talking about airway with kids, which that's never talked about. I mean, it is some places, but it's one of those things that's like taboo. Every kid is getting ortho and getting their teeth pulled out, extractions when really it has to do all when they're little and what they chew and how their jaw grows. And I could go on forever, but you might not even understand what I'm saying. But once I learned all this stuff that like it starts from birth, literally when your mother pushed you out, like that's when it starts. If there's any complications, trauma, blah blah blah, like that's when it starts. And like when you're a baby and you have no teeth, like and you're supposed to chew food, not eat mushy bananas and mushy soup. Like you need to eat real food so your jaw can grow. And if your jaw grows, and the rest of your body will grow with it. And if your tongue is not up at the roof of your mouth, it's not going to be that expander that you need. So our tongue is like a natural expander. Look at me, I'm going into Myo. I'm going to stop now. Okay. So I wrote some little points here because I'm like, I'm going to forget and I'm going to ramble. So money reality. Yes. Okay. So money reality. Oh, by the way, I don't think this is the end of hygiene for me. Like I love hygiene. I'm still going to support my hygienist friends online. I absolutely love everything about that. I could also do temping if I wanted to, right? Although I'm not a fan of temping. I've done it a couple times and it's not my cup of tea. I could do that. I have flexibility. And I've going through this journey of like, okay, I'm doing tooth pillow. And yes, tooth pillow if the number of patients that I see is there, like if my schedule is busy, then I'm gonna make money because I make money off basically commission with Tooth Pillow, and I am a contractor. Yeah, I'm not a W-2 employee with them. So there's no insurance, but I get insurance through my husband, and there's no like benefits with them, which is completely fine. So I'm trying to build my own Myo Rising company on the side. So I'm trying to make my own thing now as a myofunctional therapist, which is going, and I want to take you guys on a journey with me. How am I doing this? What am I doing? How am I setting it up? How am I getting patients? I kind of want to just document my journey so that if you're interested in doing myofunctional therapy, if you're interested in doing something else on the side to make extra money as a hygienist, this video is for you. This channel is for you. So subscribe. I will be probably uploading a video once a week, explaining what I'm doing, how I'm doing it, and also the cost that comes with it. So yeah, back to reality of money. So because I was like, I've always wanted a lot of like money. Like this thing in my head says like you need to make a lot of money, and I think my mom put that in my head somewhere. So I've always strived to like do more to make more money, but you know what? Money is not always everything, right? Money is great, but I also you want to be happy. And you can learn to live off less money, right? So right now I'm trying to be extra careful with the things that I spend on because doing myofunctional therapy from home, it's kind of one of those things like, well, it depends if the patient load is there. So I'm trying to look for other things I can do on the side as well as now I get to spend more time with my kids at home. I get to have lunch with them. I literally wake up, I don't even have an alarm. I wake up with my daughter, my 8-month-old Olivia, and then we just hang out for like 2 hours. And I do have a nanny that still comes 3 days a week, which I'm so thankful for her because she's awesome. And I have my mom's help. She lives next door too. It takes a tribe, right? They always say that. So what's that word? So recently I started back in my Red Bull game, I used to drink coffee and then I stopped and then I tried Celsius. I'm not a fan. This is not sponsored, by the way. I've always been a Red Bull girl. Oh my God. Back in the day, actually, can you imagine? Let me let it all out here. I used to smoke cigarettes. Oh my God, I had Jonas who smoked cigarettes. I got in a really bad relationship that he was smoking, so I started to smoke, and then I worked at a restaurant for 6 years, and see you later. But I did quit. So I've quit many things in my life. I've quit cigarettes. I've quit alcohol. I no longer drink alcohol. And now I've quit hygiene. So yeah, what else am I going to talk about? Okay, so what I'm building, I already told you that. And I just want this to be like a documentary of a hygienist who quit not because she didn't love her job, although, hygiene has its moments. I love hygiene, but sometimes hygiene kind of sucks you. You know what sucks about hygiene is like the autonomy part. As much as I've gotten my autonomy because I've been so confident and I've done like all these things to make it so that people trust me, the dentist trusts me, I come off very confident what I'm saying because I had the experience, right? I have the experience. I can say that. Anyways, I'm losing track of what I'm saying, but because I've gotten to that point, like it's just weird to transition to something different and something new. But I know that I can do well in this, and that's gonna be my therapy. So I think I'm gonna leave it off on this video here. But this channel is going to be about my journey of leaving hygiene and seeing what's next, building my myofunctional therapy business and all that stuff. Maybe some budgeting stuff, maybe some day in the life. I don't know. Comment down below what you guys are interested in. What do you want to know? Do you want to know how myofunctional therapy school was? Do you want to know how I am doing this with 3 kids and so forth? But yeah, this is my first documentary. I'm going to try to make it just talking videos for now because editing videos and doing all that, it takes a lot of work. It takes a lot of work. So yeah, that is going to be it for today, and I will chit chat with you guys next time. Make sure you subscribe, like the video, and comment below what you want to hear from me. Okay? I am an open book, too open sometimes, but I do want to share my journey. All right, I'll see you guys later. Bye.